most interesting feedbacks that we received from thousands of students across North America was that they wanted to join a company that had a strong family atmosphere or a strong team atmosphere. I'm a sports guy. I love sports. So I know that great teams, when they're fit together with different parts, young and old, more experienced and less experienced, they generally, they'll mold together, they'll win championships because their team is strong together. And I think that's what young people were looking for. So, a family atmosphere that would care for them, somebody that they could go to and they could develop trust, have your back. That's really important to young people today.
Yeah, I think this was a really important, it was a really surprising thing. I remember going to companies and I'd think, well, certainly this kind of company won't say this. I mean, we had gone to some companies that had a lot of young people, and that might have been, and then we'd go to a paving company and they'd say the same thing. We'd go to a construction company and they'd say the same thing. We'd go to a fast food restaurant, they'd say the same thing. Over and over again, we found that young workers really wanted to work in a place and described a good company as one that had a family atmosphere. And so we began to dig down on this research and ask ourselves, what does that look like? Because I mean, we all come from different family backgrounds. Some of us come from traditional families, some of us come from less traditional families. It doesn't make them less family, but what does it mean to be a family? And so there's a couple of things that we've found in that is that the first thing is that healthy families stay together. I mean, if you're a family, you're like blood is thicker than mud, is the saying. Mm-hmm. And we found that companies, really great companies, have very low turnover. And this is a really great piece of information for you when you're looking for a job. Because a simple question you can ask is, what is your turnover rate at this place of employment? And if the turnover rate is high, you can make some assumptions at some level that perhaps this is not like a family. Secondly, families care about each other. No matter what kind of family you're from, you're family because you care about each other. And companies where the employees are family, take an interest in each other's lives. And we mentioned this a little bit in the stress management piece. But the truth is, every employee wants to be seen. People want to be seen. Really great companies that are going to keep you safe will care about your life outside of the work. They care about you as a person. And finally, families listen to each other. When our families are not healthy, and I'm sure all of us have been or in seasons where our families are not healthy, it's generally when we're not listening to each other.
Yeah, I have a great example of that skill again, that skill of listening to young champions that come into the workplace. As a company owner myself, I listened to this young guy who came in and said he'd only been with us for a couple of weeks on the job. We owned a manufacturing company, and he said, I think that I can improve this piece of equipment. And I listened to what he had to say. And because I listened to what he had to say, he brought skills from the outside and he brought a clear vision of what we hadn't seen for a long period of time. And that changed the way we did business. That absolutely brought an innovation to us that we had not seen. And so I am telling business leaders across North America, listen, take the time to listen to your family members. Take the time, whether they're young or experienced, take the time to listen to them because they will bring great ideas to your family.
Right. The question then becomes, how do we know when a company has a family atmosphere? How do we know? And I think part of this is you got to follow your gut a little bit. When you go to look for a job and you get in the place that you would be working, you can sense whether there's a family atmosphere or not. And you can also ask people. I've just been shocked to be able to, at the level that people are willing to talk about this. Does this company feel like family? And the people that work there will be able to tell you. Ask them what the turnover rate is again. And a really good question to ask might be, why did the person whose job I am filling, why did they leave? And that will give you some information as to how the company operates and how they treat their employees.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a neat, this is good because we're able to talk about some of the business factors that you probably haven't maybe looked at before. One is turnover is really important. Another one might be absentee level. What we have found is that companies who do not treat their families with respect, there's a higher level of absentee level. And so people just don't show up on a Monday, they don't show up on a Friday. They don't take responsibility in their workplace because there's an issue in the workplace that they were not able to talk to other people about. It did not get resolved. So people just don't show up for work. So that consequently leads to higher turnover. And I don't want you working for a company that has a high turnover, high absentee level. I want you to work for a company that you just want to get up and you want to learn from, you want to bring your innovative ideas to. You'll be really happy working for a company like that.